Let's start with childhood. Mm-hmm. Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in northeast England. So about 5 hours drive north of London. And it was, I didn't really like my childhood.
Why not?
The town where I grew up is a beautiful town. I grew up in a council house, and council house is like state-owned property, so it's like a poorer area of town. And I grew up I had a single mother. I never met my father until later on in life. So I grew up with for the first 7 years, my mother, my aunt, and my grandma. My grandmother is the person I am today. She takes full responsibility of the man I became. It's all because of her.
Wow.
And she raised me. And I didn't. And I had. It's strange when I was talking to someone else about childhood. What you think is normal isn't sometimes. A lot of the time isn't normal. Mm-hmm. There's probably a lot of people out there who maybe get abused and don't really know they're getting abused. It's only maybe when you may wake up to it later on in life, and then you see and you think, yeah, that wasn't cool. But
did you have any brothers and sisters?
No, so I grew up as an only child, but my natural father is probably one of the most fertile men of the 1970s. So if you're from northeast England and you don't know who your dad is, we're probably related. But
wow.
I've got lots of like half brothers and sisters.
What is it about your childhood that you didn't like?
I think it was.
You brought up abuse.
I think it was this, and it wasn't. There's what I say is plenty of love in my life. It wasn't abuse from family or anything like that, but it was just being exposed to violence at a really young age, and that set sort of values in me. Which
what
some
kind
people
of violence?
So there's some things I don't want to share in the light of day, and so I think that the worst experience I had was when I was 8 years old, and I just started at a new school, and it's about a 1.5 mile walk back near Woodland, and we'll talk about the Woodland later, which is on a more happier note. And I was walking home, and a nice warm September day, and 8 years old, and I was walking, and these two guys were there, two older boys who had just been released from young offenders from juvie, and the one was roughly about 6 years older than me, and then the other one was about the same age as him. So they would have been like 14, 15 years old. And I was always quite small and thin. And they were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing." And then one of them just hit me around the head with a branch, hit me to the ground. And then they went on to sort of torture me for about 2 hours.
Torture?
Yeah.
What
so
kind
they were
of
just
torture?
like just beating me up. Like one of them would be sitting on my chest, and like one of them like took some dog shit and smeared it on my face, and like lit like cigarettes on me and stuff, and
damn,
and give me a kicking. And then I think the worst thing what the did is, like, I had a packed lunchbox, and I didn't see them do, but they put loads of dog shit inside my packed lunchbox and then sealed it back up. So I didn't see that till later on when I was at home, and that was a thing I thought was quite, that got to me. And then I ran home eventually, and my stepdad at the time went out and sort of had a talk and look for them, and my mother did as well. And I was obviously distressed, and they were distressed, and I think that was my first, even though I'd been beat up and set on fire and stuff like that before.
Hold on, set on fire?
Or not set on fire. So
is that a figure of speech?
No, not literally set on fire, but it's how I escaped. I'll talk about that bit in a moment, but that to me was like pure evil that I witnessed. Mm-hmm. I thought, and then, but here's the interesting thing: even at a young age, I was thankful. You know what I was thankful for? I was thankful if that was me, because I can take that. That was me, I'm certain, and that's one of the biggest reasons I'm glad for. If it wasn't me that day, they had the taste of blood in their mouth. It would have been someone else. And if I'd been an 8-year-old girl, they would have raped me. I know that. I could see that. And so that was the part for me, was like, I'm glad it was me, because I can deal with that. And yeah. Where
Did you know these guys?
I knew of one of them, and then I actually met one of them later on in life, and I turned the tables a little bit. And some people say it's not good what I did, but I gave him a kick in, and he begged for his life. He didn't know who I was.
How long ago, or what's the time frame here?
That would have been probably about 13, 14 years later.
No shit.
And I recognise that. Pure
So
scumbag, riding a BMX with
21 years old.
tracksuit bottoms tucked into his socks, like at night, running. My eyes just straight away locked on like a missile lock. I know who that is. First time I'd seen him since. I know who that is. And as he rode past, I grabbed him by the neck, and then issued out some tough justice. So
Good for you.
and then.
How did that feel? Did you feel good afterwards, or did you regret it?
I didn't regret it. No. I mean, it's maybe not a good message to put out to people, but sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta put on that armor. And
Did they know who you were?
No,
Did you let them know who you were?
No.
What did you say?
nothing.
Nothing.
No.
What did they say?
Like the normal stuff, what someone's begging for their life says. So
What is the normal stuff?
please stop whatever I've done. Stop, and just so everyone's know, there was no mistaken identity. It was him. But
Right on. Let's move on.
yeah, but the fire thing. A few years before that, when I was about 4 or 5, I used to try and hang around with the older kids in my estate, and sometimes I'd be like a pain in the neck to them. So they, again, I don't think it's evil. It's just, sometimes kids can be brutal. Mm-hmm. So these were much older than me. They were these would have been teenagers as well when I was about 4 or 5 years old. And there's 2 incidents. One was when I walked into the woods, and the woods I lived next to a set of woods, and it was just a small burn, but it was known as my woods because I knew it from an early age. I used to go there by myself, and up until just before the army, I'd know it like the back of my hands, and yeah, I loved it. I still walk through it now when I go to my hometown and think of these things, and the guys were playing with an air rifle, and I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And one of them turned and with a big smirk just shot me in the leg and I was about 4 years old, in the thigh, and I was screaming, howling, thinking, "Why did you do that?" The other one, who always seemed to be nicer than the others, took the air rifle off me, and I thought, "Oh, good, he's going to step in." And then he shot me, and he took it and then laughed and shot me in the other leg. I think then they realised what they'd done, and then they tried to smooth it over, and I've still got 2 scars on my leg. When my legs get suntanned, which isn't often, you can see the 2 white marks here and here.
Oh, good.
On my legs. So there's things like that. But then so another story, and this came out when I was on operations. A whole load of the guys were talking about things that make them scared, and they said, "I'd hate to be put in like a bag." And I said, "Oh, I've been tied in a bag before." And they went, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, when I was younger, they were playing Batman and Robin." I turned up and said, "What are they doing?" "They're playing Batman and Robin, and you're going to be one of the bad guys." So they had a potato sack, and he stuffed me in this potato sack and tied a knot in the top, and then they started kicking the potato sack round and beating me, and the guys are looking at me going, "What?" And they went, "Well, how did you get out?" I said, "Oh, when they set it on fire, I managed to escape." So that was my fire story.
Holy shit. So you were bullied quite a bit as a kid.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and this is the thing. Isn't like honestly, I was just about to say there. Was I bullied? Because when you normalize chaos, you normalize violence, and so they're the most. They're not the most graphic things that ever happened to me, but as I said to someone very close to me, I said, the other things that are the worst, they stay in here and I don't think they deserve to see the light of day. But
Why are you? You're pretty closed up. You keep a lot of stuff internalized. It sounds like. Why do you do that?
I think it's because I've been betrayed all my life, and
Who is the most important person that's betrayed you?
oh,
I mean, we know your government
yeah,
is pretty much
I mean,
betrayed you.
that was the answer I was going to say, but I think it's just people.
If your parents, women,
Yeah,
wives,
I mean, a bit of women, parents. I mean, everyone's got their own heartache, if you like, and then sometimes
one of the things about this show, Christian, is sharing experiences because people learn from that.
Yeah.
And it helps them get through the trauma. And so for somebody like you to be sitting here who's experienced that kind of stuff and overcome it, when you share those experiences, that sends a wave into the world. Mm-hmm. And people learn from men like you who've overcome that because they look up to you. And so when you share that and you talk about how you overcame it, it's like a wave of good that gets tossed into the world, and people ride that.
And I think so from a betrayal point of view. I mean, no one's totally innocent. Like I can say, like, oh, a girl may have dumped me or broke my heart, but I probably had something to do with it. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not perfect, and then, but that's the thing is being alone. It's that feeling of alone. So like when you're just an only child, but then there's that thing when you find yourself on your own. I think from an early age it was a defense mechanism from me to then go, okay, I can do this. I'm strong. And then I'll move on and do things. And then every now and again, I sometimes let someone in. And then when I let them in, sometimes they might not see what they like, or I might show them too much. And it's this thing about being Christian Craighead versus my real self, and then they might not like what they see, and then move on. And then I think I should have just lived like a lie. I should have pretended to be someone who I'm not, and that way everyone's happy. And every now and again, if you show them the real me, they might go, "Yeah, I didn't like that. I liked the normal person," because, like in 2019, when I launched a one-man hostage rescue mission, if you like. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't want to go. I'm not going to go into the details of the thing. Life had prepared me for that moment, mm-hmm. and it's a thought I have, and it's sometimes eating me up a lot. Is for life to prepare me for that day, I had to be different. And Merely Chapin, the author of Terrorist Attack Girl, who was in the DusitD2 Hotel, so her husband said to her, like, Chris wasn't the right man at the right place that day. He was the man who had to be there that day because everything in life had prepared me for that moment. Mm-hmm. The mindset, the skill set, everything was odd. Everything lined up for that. But then the thought of, in order to be that person for that day, maybe I'm like a tool, like a specialist tool, that it's really good for this job, and you might use it once, and then after that, it's useless. So I have, I have sometimes I think, can I fit in with normal society? And I'm not a crackpot, as you know. You met me personally, and I've met your family, and but I just think, am I suitable for normal life?
It sounds like you put a lot of maybe validity. I don't know if that's the correct word, but you really put a lot of importance on what other people think.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean,
why do you do that?
I don't know.
It's you.
It's you.
Maybe. Who gives a shit if they don't like you?
Yeah.